All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakodash, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the hopeful elect, pushing out this word in truth and in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Sincere Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwaf that's listening and learning as well. This is Brother Quar from the DC camp. Come back at you with another lesson. Real quick lesson, I'm going to entitle this one 2020 Year of Contactless Payments. And I got the title from this article that I was reading. This came out September the 8th, 2020, which was a little over a month ago. Okay? Now, I'm just going to read some of it, and then, we already know the scriptures, but I'm going to touch on them, you know, just to show you what times that we in, man. And like the Apostle Todd said, it's time you get with the programs, man. Get with the program and talking about the mark of the beast. And he said something profound, like you people out there that's saying that it's not the mark of the beast is not this RFID chip, NFC chip tech, NFC technology is playing with nuclear fire, man. All right, now I'm gonna read a little bit of it. Matter of fact, let me start with this. This is Revelation 13 and verse 15. It says, "And he had power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, and free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." Which clearly proves that that's an economic strategy, man. Under this government of the beast, everybody will be given a mark, or he would try to give everybody a mark, man, which is a physical mark, an incision, charagma, under your skin. It says, and without that mark, you will not be able to participate in the economy, man. It's just simple as that. You know. Let me look up this. I want to get this real quick. Let me see. Synonyms.com, right? Let me get that word cause. This says cause. It says events that provide the generative force that is the origin of something. A justification for something existing or happening. You see that? Now let me read this. It says the coronavirus crisis has caused a surge in mobile and contactless payment, driving consumers to make fewer but larger purchases, according to the 2020 debit issuer study. Now you see this little card right here on this picture, and you got the little symbol that looked like a Wi-Fi. What made me want to look into this is because I had to get a new card, and it had these new symbols on it. And there was another article. I don't know if I have it, but if I do, I'm gonna skim through some of these articles where it says that that's how they issuing it. They're changing over these new. And if you got to get a new card, then they give you the contactless payment card options, man. I went to the store and I paid for something, and I used it. I wanted to see how it worked, and I just hovered it over the new system because they had to get all the stores is getting these new terminal systems as well, to where they can accept the contactless payment. So I just hovered over it, and usually I would have to type in my PIN, but I didn't have to, and it was actually fast, man. But let me keep going. Well, I want to get to the points. I'm gonna jump down to the next paragraph. It says, "We see the adoption of contactless payments, whether with cars or mobile devices, accelerating as touchless experiences increasingly became a way of life for consumers as we navigate through the pandemic." So they used this pandemic to further push their agenda for contactless payment. Now, if you go to previous articles from previous years, they've been trying to get these contactless payments. Well, this was just another way to further that. All right. It says the study found that following the rise in U.S. debit transactions in early March, as consumer stockpile goods purchases dropped 25 to 30% in mid-March, as shelter-in-place restrictions took hold, and then began to recover in May as fiscal stimulus measures and business reopenings came into effect. Hold on. Look. It says the study also found that Apple Pay dominates the U.S. mobile payment landscape with 98% of debit issuers enrolled in its mobile wallet services compared to 91% for Samsung Pay and 85% for Google Pay. Apple has a cardholder enrollment rate of 17.5% against Samsung's 1.7% and Google's 1.2%. In part because of the pandemic and in part because of pre-existing consumer trends, the study has held 2020 the year of contactless. Right. Because they don't want to even touch cash, man. You know? Um, yeah. It says while the pandemic is accelerating the shift to contactless payments in the U.S., contactless was already an emerging trend, with issuers citing offering contactless as their top priority. You see that? So contactless payment was their top priority even before the coronavirus. So you starting to see this is an agenda, man. That's why I said that this was an economic. So like it, this was an economic strategy, man. Now, when you go into the definition of strategy, the word strategy, it says a plan of action designed to achieve a long-term or overall aim. The art of planning and directing overall military operations and movements in a war or battle, often contrasts with tactics, and that's what this devil is trying to do, man. This is a He wants to be like the Most High, man. He's trying to see how he can best do it. All right, so nonetheless, penetration of contactless cards will be fairly gradual. As of year in 2019, 11% of all full functioning debit cards were contactless enabled. Contactless penetration is projected to reach 36% by year in 2020 and 87% by year in 2022. You know? You see the shift happening, man. You know? This was the main article that I was reading because it says creating safer, faster checkout during COVID-19 and beyond with contactless payments. It says so and beyond is something that they want for the future, man. This is one of today's hottest trends. Contactless is something we hear everywhere. Contactless shopping, contactless delivery, contactless payments, and more. But customer experience has been the real driver of our contactless trend. Whether in store or online, the customer experience influences both immediate and future shopping behaviors, man. Like I said, I want to get some of the points. But this technology has been around what? It says since the 1920s, man. But it says the first reported contactless payment method occurred in the mid 1990s. So it's something that these devils been working on, man. All right. In 2018, more than 40% of in-store Visa transactions outside the U.S. occurred with a tap-to-pay option because the U.S. has been slower on it, man. Because when the U.S. moves, that's when it's really popping, man. It says in early 2020, 31 million Americans used a Visa contactless payments, which is up 150% from March 2019, man. So it's moving fast, man. Things is moving fast. All right. And the Lord is speeding up the times, man. They saying that it's safer and more efficient, man. All right. Now, I wanted to get this little part right here. It says, like chip cards, contactless payments do not transmit the name, card number, or three-digit security code. Instead of relying on the chip and one-time security code, tap-to-pay options use a unique tokenized ID to mask the credit card number and relate number and related sensitive information. So I'm gonna click this. It says only when you tap the card or unlock your phone and place either the card or phone within 2 inches of the payment device, the reader will initiate communications. From there, within less than 2 seconds, a short range wireless communication called NFC, near field communication, will be able to register the authorization for payment. Now, there's another article which said that, you know, uh, uh, instead of the phone, it's more likely going to be a card or what did they call it? A wearable, something wearable, because that's what the consumer more so wants, man. But let me get this so you can see something. It's mobile contactless cards and payment technology. How it works. Um, I wanted to see if it had that. All right, but this is just going into the technology, man. Mobile tap to pay systems use short range radio waves to communicate with compatible payment processing hardware. They're highly secure, although not invulnerable to compromise, and can store retailer specific loyalty program details and additional payment card information. Mobile near field communication technology and readers. Just showing you that this is the technology that the apostles, beginning with the apostle elders of Great Millstone, has been telling you about, man. It says mobile tap to pay systems rely on near field communications NFC technology, which uses extremely short range radio signals. They're effective up to about 20 centimeters, but only work optimally within 4 centimeter range to rapidly transmit data to in-store payments. NFC technology has a wider range of uses, from contactless transit passes and security cards, key cards, proximity cards, to bootstrapping devices that boost Wi-Fi network bandwidth and power. Um, Let me see. Okay. Well, this got a lot of information, and I'm not gonna sit up here and read everything. You know. Okay, I want to get this part. Contactless payment history and technology. Contactless payment technology has been around longer than the smartphone, although adoption was patchy until smartphones became widely available. NFC technology's origin and early contactless payment systems. Near field communication technology arose out of early work on radio frequency identification (RFID) technology, which used patterned radio signals for communication and product identification. According to Google Patents, the first RFID patent was filed in 1983 by American scientist Charles Walton. RFID didn't gain traction in consumer applications until late 1990s, when a variation of technology was incorporated in the line of Star Wars dolls manufactured by Hasbro. You see? So that's its origins, man. The same technology, and they've been thinking about this, man. You know? So, man, if you can't see it, then I don't know what to tell you, man. You know? We don't know what to tell you, man. You're lost. Let me get this quick scripture. It says, 2 Corinthians 2 verse 11 says, lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. All right? And that's what this is. This is a device. You know? It's Satan's devices, man. This is of the adversary. You know? We get that. And you are ignorant, man. That's why the scripture say you are destroyed for lack of knowledge. This is the word ignorant in here.
Strong's G50, Agnaeo. Agnaeo.
It says to be ignorant, not to know, not to understand, unknown, to err or sin through a mistake, to be wrong. And guess what? If you saying that this mark of the beast is something spiritual, you're wrong, and you're gonna commit a spiritual adultery against the Lord, man. When you take that chip, although you try to say, oh, I don't believe it's the chip, but I'm going. I'm not gonna take it. Well, you don't know what you're gonna do in that day, especially if you don't believe that it's the mark of the beast, man. You know, through lack of information or intelligence or pride, man. That's what you have. You know. Now you get devices, right? Come on, son.
Strong's G 3540. Naima. Naima.
It says this is devices. It says a mental perception, thought, and evil purpose. That which thinks the mind, thoughts, or purposes, man, of Satan. This is his evil purpose, man, that he wants to bring upon the whole world. You see, man, it's clear as day, man. All right, look, why the U.S. is finally ready for contactless. I'm not gonna read all this. Just showing you that this is the time that we in, man. Real quick, okay? Our cash-free future is getting closer. The pandemic is propelling a shift toward cashless society in ways that no other single event has. Expert says that's not necessarily a good thing. You know, July 6th, 2020. It says this has done it in ways that no other single event has, man. So it's pushing forward their agenda, man. People are using cards and contactless payments because they do not want to have to touch anything, as said Mr. Cornell, as a line of mask-wearing shoppers stood 3 feet apart before approaching the register and swiping contactless cards over a reader. You see? Oh, this is what I wanted to get. While cash is still accepted, even older shoppers, his toughest clientele when it comes to adopting digital habits, are voluntarily making the switch. So they doing this thing voluntarily, and this is a part of how he causeth all, right? It says of one's own free will. This is a part of how he causeth all to take that mark, man. You know? Let me see. This is Genesis. It says of their free will, right? This is Genesis 47 and verse 15. And another thing this pandemic is doing. So it's doing multiple things, man. It's first of all, it's making people want to go into switch to contactless payments. And it's also, what is it doing? It's also pretty much eliminating the middle class, man. It's making a lot of people poor. It said that what? I forget, it said 20% of Americans slipped into poverty during the coronavirus. Which they was not slipped, they was pushing the poverty. you know? The famines came. They wasn't able to, since they wasn't able to produce, be around and work that much. They wasn't able to produce that many things. So it was a manufactured famine, man, for a short little period. And it's going to go to the next level, man. But I wanted to get this story in Genesis 47 and verse 15. It says, and when money failed in the land of Egypt, which this is spiritually Egypt, and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle, if money faileth. So they started to give their cattle because they needed to eat, man. And this is how he's causing things to happen. This pandemic is one of the ways he's causing it. The famine is going to be one of the ways he causes it. And then that's why you see them talking about, the elder Yashua Wambi post that video. If the globalists get their way, this is what's going to be the future. You know? And he was talking about, this is why they talking about universal income, basic income, which I did a video on that a while back, because that's going to be the bribe for you to take this chip to nudge you into while everybody's broke, they're going to come in with that solution. All right? It says, and Joseph, verse 17 says, and they bought their cattle to Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, Salakia, and for the asses, and he fed them with bread for all the cattle for that year. when that year was ended, they came into the second. This is why this thing is incremental. It's not going to happen overnight, and you starting to see it. These things has been in motion, but it's speeding up. It says, when that year was ended, they came into him the second year and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord, how that our money is spent. My Lord also have our herds of cattle. There is not enough left in the sight of my Lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and die and not die, that the land be not desolate. Okay, so they sold themselves to Joseph and Pharaoh, man, so that they wouldn't die. This is the temptation that's going to come upon the world, man, which we not afraid, because the scriptures say that we shall eat and they shall be hungry. So the most of the world, they're going to be hungry. They're going to want to take it, man. you know? And this is the Lord causing you to not take that chip, man. Well, a lot of you won't believe it. You don't believe, you're not going to be protected, man. You're not going to eat. Since you didn't want to believe, you didn't believe the record that the Lord gave, man. Okay? Now, there was another scripture in Exodus where, because that's what this mark is, man. It's a brand, all right? So as you to be his cattle. Well, it says, what we just read, they wanted to be his servants, right? This is Exodus 21 and verse 5. It says, and if the master shall plainly say, I love my Salah, and if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him into the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. Right? So he got pierced through. It said that bore. It says to bore or pierce. All right? With an awl. Boring instrument or awl. What is it? Whatever that is. But that's it says a small pointed tool used for piercing holes. All right? So that's ultimately what's going to happen to you people, man. Got this last article. It says banking after COVID-19, the rise of contactless payments in the U.S., man. This is June 12, 2020. All right? So, hey, man, if you can't see what's happening, then you're fucking blind, man. All right? Look at that. Look at that. All right, I'm going to close on this. This is Habakkuk 2 and verse 2. It says, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may readeth it. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it, man. But you people are stuck in place with your pride, man. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And guess what? Just like the image is making what he said, the beast is making his image to speak. You starting to see it happen. The prophecies of the Lord has been foretold of this, man. And it's been broken down by the true prophets. But you guys, you just can't get it, man. And guess what? The blind is going to lead the blind, and you're both going to fall into a ditch. So with that, Lord willing, I was edifying to the next lesson. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double on style apostle and elders, a great millstone. Hey, and it's time for y'all to get with the program, man.